All right, guys, we got one of our legends, Alex, here joining us for a great conversation. Alex has done incredibly well. I think about 7 weeks or so, and excited to share his journey. Share his journey because he's come a long way from where he started to where he is. And I'll get him invited just as he jump in. Jose, welcome along. So if any of you guys are interested, right, or you're wanting to create a transformation for yourself, whether it's for your body, for your confidence, stepping more into your authenticity, his story is going to be powerful. Travis, hey, John, Alex, here we go. Gonna go. Alex is jumping on it. Inspired by his story.
Am I there? Did I do it?
Alex,
Yeah.
there you go. There you
Awesome.
go. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you for being here, everyone. This is Alex, incredible legend in our community. Done some beautiful work so far. We're still going, but there's some incredible changes, and we're just going to get you to share your story, Alex, because I know it's going to inspire a lot of people.
Awesome. I'm here. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go. People are going to jump in and out, by the way. It doesn't matter,
Sure.
but it's
Yeah.
about sharing your story. So, as a starting point, what were your biggest struggles before we started here?
Probably that I didn't really know what I was doing, but I wanted to pretend like I knew what I was doing.
Mm,
So, but like with my body and with working out with my food. Um, but my biggest struggle was like that I had gone to the gym forever,
mm,
4 to 5 days a week. Mm. Results.
mm.
I thought I was eating healthy, pretty healthy. And I'm like, results.
Yeah.
I thought I knew what I was doing, but nothing was really changing all that much. I was actually gaining weight.
Mm,
And I just figured, well, I'm in my mid 40s now. You gain weight, it's harder to keep weight off. You just
mm,
kind of surrender to this. I thought, well, I'm genetically not gonna be able to actually make real transformation in my body. So I guess I have to just accept that. And so I wasn't really struggling with feeling defeated. I was struggling with feeling like ho hum, like it's just the way it is.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so just the way it is, results, but not seeing the changes,
yeah.
genetics, there's changes in age, and thinking that was it. Um, how was that feeling impacting, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, on a day-to-day basis?
It was, I probably wouldn't have admitted this consciously, but it was causing a lot of frustration
Mm,
and a kind of feeling of a growing feeling of just like apathy,
mm,
and so mentally, I've just felt like I was getting stuck.
mm,
And I figured, well, I'll work out for my health. I'll do the treadmill for my health. I'll do weights for my health, but I'm not going to really affect any real change. And so there was not really like a depression feeling, but like a this is this is my lot. I just got to deal with it type of feeling.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and I know a lot of guys will resonate with that, right? And it's interesting you say like, "Hey, probably wasn't conscious at the time, but there was a frustration there because it's so easy for us. We all do it as humans to have frustration where you put that on the surface and go, "Hey, it's impacting things, but this is where things are." Um, what were your doubts like before we started, right? Skepticism of, "Hey, should I do this thing? Should I not do this thing?" What were the doubts first and foremost, and what was the thing that helped you take the leap for yourself to say, "Hey, I want to do this"?
Well, my doubts were, I don't think, I've worked with a lot of people. Not necessarily,
Mm,
I haven't worked with a lot of coaches and a lot of physical trainer coaches, but I've worked with a lot of people, and so I'm like, what's
mm.
going to be different about this guy? And like skeptical, like is I didn't tell you this before, but I think it's okay. You wouldn't mind if I say it.
Tell me.
Like, is this just another guy on Instagram taking his shirt off to get me to buy something? Like I really thought that. Like I'm like, okay, but I know, as I saw your content, I got to know you and we talked. I'm like, oh, this is a very genuine person. He really cares and he knows what he's doing.
Mm,
Um, and so that was a little bit of my doubt, but there also was like my doubt was with myself of,
mm,
can I commit to something like this and can I work through my own darkness and discomfort? Now I've told you before, I've worked through a lot of stuff and a lot of trauma and a lot of healing in my life,
yeah.
but when it came to my body, it felt like there was always like this block, you
Mm,
know and I thought, is this really gonna change?
mm,
Like, what would be so different that Jared would do that would actually make a change, which I quickly discovered was not the case. And that it's, anyways, yeah,
I got you. I got you. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. So, uh, if you mind going a bit deeper, right? If
yeah,
you're open to it, because a lot of guys have this, our history, right?
yeah.
Well, where did those doubts even come from the beginning that got you stuck for that long?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think, I always had a complicated relationship with my body image.
Mm,
Um, I went through two breakups where my sexual attractiveness was called into question, some in pretty direct ways.
mm,
Um, I more than once kind of heard like you're not working hard enough or you're not doing the right thing
mm,
or whatever. And I'm like, well, what is the right thing? I don't even know what the right thing is to do. Like, I'm not putting enough effort into it. But I think it also came from, one of the reasons I also wanted to work with you is I wanted to work with another gay man because I think there's so many unique um, struggles that we go through, right? And so I think really at the heart of it was I didn't like myself.
yeah.
And so the real core is like, I'm not even worth doing this for
Wow.
myself. I want to leave a little bit of padding on here because I want to protect that place. I want to keep that safe. It's like a little bit of coming out that still needed to
Mm.
happen in a way. Yeah.
I want to shine a light on this too, Alex, right? Because you're not someone who's not done. You've done a lot of healing, right? You've done a lot of personal development. You've healed a lot of traumas, done a lot, and there's that still pieces. Because sometimes people think we do some healing work and everything's great, but what I'm hearing is that hey, there's the blocks from the past, the exes, the sexuality, from hearing those messages that didn't serve you, right? But I'm hearing from see me going, hey, what's this shirtless guy? Just another Instagram guy. I want to share something before we go a bit further. You mentioned something before about this arsehole thing, because this is so crucial. I know a lot of guys think this. What was one of your fears of, hey, if I were to get in shape, what's going to happen?
Oh, I'll turn into a douche. Like I'll turn into an asshole. I'll turn into the jock bullies from high school that
Mm,
I was so scared I would turn into that, or I'd turn into like a mean gay,
yeah,
and like somehow having a body a really nice body would somehow turn me into a jerk.
yeah.
Um, and I have to report, my body is looking better and better every day, and I haven't turned into a jerk. I don't think I can ask around. I don't think I've turned into an asshole.
No
But
one said to you, hey, Alex, you're becoming an asshole.
hey, Alex, you're turning into such a jerk. Um, no, but I really, that was a fear you and I uncovered, I think, on one of our first calls, was like,
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of it in that way. But, for me, I associated myself as sort of the artsy band kid from high school as I'm the nice one. And these
Yeah.
other guys who are ripped are assholes. Not thinking like, I know plenty of guys who are ripped and who are lovely, really lovely people. But it's like that belief gets so
Mm,
stuck. You don't even realize it's there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. Let's go further now. So you took the leap, made a lot of discoveries. What's changed? What has changed physically, mentally, emotionally? You haven't turned an asshole.
No.
What's changed?
Um, I'm down since we started
Mm,
in late December, 13 pounds from where I started.
let's go.
And, I had like snuck on weight. It was happening slowly, like it was like incrementally. I was sneaking in. I was just kind of like tossing it off. I mean, I started losing a little weight when we were on our trip in Asia, but because we were just walking so much. So I was down from 240 to 238, then to 236, and now I'm at 223, which is the lowest I've ever been in a healthy weight, which is incredible.
Yeah.
223. I'm so proud of that number. I'm stronger, obviously. I turn in the mirror sometimes. I'm a little bit surprised. That's how my body looks. But also, like, on the flip side of it, not on the flip side, on a more energetic side, I have a lot more energy. A lot
Yeah.
more energy. I always thought, I do a lot of healing work. I'm an astrologer, I'm an intuitive coach, so I'm seeing clients all the time. I'm interacting. I always thought that's why I was tired. So I'm like, I need to rest, clear my fields, just I'll be fine. And it was okay. I used to always need a nap in the middle of the day. I don't need one anymore. I used to
Yeah.
need a second cup of coffee. Now, if I want one, I have one, but I
Yeah.
don't need my second cup of coffee. Um, I feel more confident. I mean, my relationship was always already incredible, but it's only gotten better.
Mhm.
Um, the my To be perfectly frank, my sex life was already amazing, but it got even better. And like, I'm putting it all out there because
Good.
these are
Good.
things that I didn't know that I could get better from where I was. That's probably the biggest thing, right? So it's like it felt really empowering to know like this, 45 heading up to 50 doesn't have to be like a decline. It doesn't have to be an acceptance of okay. And now I don't accept okay at all in any way. Yeah.
What I'm hearing, right, there's a big shift in energy for you. By the way, I want to share some numbers with you. I don't think you know these numbers yet. I just did them now. So you dropped 13
Yeah.
pounds. You've lost about 6, 7 centimeters on the waist. You've gained 3 centimeters on the chest. You've gained 4.5 centimeters on arms. And what that's really saying, right? Because sometimes, yeah, let's go, Alex. Because sometimes I see this a lot, Alex, right? You can lose weight, but you can also just shrink. We could become a smaller version of the same
Yeah.
thing, right? But the fact that everything is going in the right direction now is right. We're gaining muscle, we're getting stronger, we're losing body fat. Um, but the bigger thing though is that there's this shift in belief that I'm hearing you crack. Say, hey, I spent these many years thinking this body is it, but we're actually going, hey, 40s, we can go into 50s stronger than ever. We can actually be fitter than we've ever been before.
Yeah. Like I think I told you this on one of our calls. I am healthier today than I was at 25. I
Wow.
mean, I have my body, not just how it looks, but how I feel
Mm-hmm.
is probably better than when I was in my 20s, certainly when I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
And I thought like I really thought like and I was fairly healthy. It was nothing really terribly wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, there were little things creeping into my 40s where I'm like I got to get this under control and it doesn't have to be a decline. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
that. No.
Amazing. Amazing. That's going to inspire a lot of people. Well, that's right. People, I'm getting a lot of messages. People say, "Hey, I'm in my 30s now. It's just downhill." The fact that hey, we're 45, we're going up. We're going up now. We're going higher. Yeah.
Your 30s, oh my God. I mean, I'll stay out of that one. Your 30s are just, you're just getting started. You're just getting started. Like there's so much potential, but like 45, yeah, 45, it's not, it's like, I mean, one day I'm surrendering my body to age. I know there'll be certain things that I will have to like just surrender as I get into it. And that's part of but not now. There's no
Mm,
reason for it now, and, one of the things your program does so well is it challenges those beliefs that are so core you don't even know you have them. It
mm,
gets in there and kind of like loosens them up. So you're like, oh, I can't believe I was believing that, and that's why I was getting this pattern. You
yeah.
know,
Wow. What would you say just on this topic here with beliefs to the amount of people who are hey getting a workout plan, getting a diet plan, hopping from diet to diet, and they're not seeing results? What do you feel is missing?
the 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 problem isn't usually that. Although I will say, what I like about your eating plans is they're very logical and they're very easy to implement. They're that part of it. All of it I love, but that part of it is really there. But it's not a diet. Um, the reason you're not getting the results is because you have beliefs about what's happening that you're subconsciously pulling yourself back.
Hmm.
And I see this now in myself. I see how certain beliefs were causing me to take actions that I
Hmm.
didn't realize I was taking, and then all of a sudden it's like, why am I not getting results? Well, because I was eating this way for a week, and then all of a sudden I'm back to having a half a bag of popcorn and 3 bags, of something and saying I'm still eating healthy,
Mm.
And so the other belief too, I think that I probably challenged under the surface was I would have told you I was eating really healthy, not barring the handful of this when I go downstairs, and then the half a bar of chocolate that I might have at night and whatever, and all these things I was saying. Well, but it's okay. It's just one thing. It's just this. It's just that. It's okay. But yeah, that just this, just that every day
Mm.
adds up.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so challenging those deeper, which you need reflection to do. I do this work in a different way. I do a lot of healing work.
Yeah.
Nobody can see all their blind
Yeah.
spots. Nobody can see all this stuff. You need someone like Jared who can look into those spaces and knows them really well and how to talk you through them. It's really important.
Awesome. Awesome. What are some of the things, by the way, that you have done that you didn't think was possible? Obviously, we're getting fitter and stronger. What are some cool things?
So I lifted 50-pound barbells, which was dumbbells,
Yeah.
which was blew my mind. I never thought I'd pick up really big, like they look big to me. Like those are like big weights. Um, I've done unassisted chest press. I've done, I challenged the story more and more. This is a story that's been coming up lately this week. I'm sure you know how to talk about that. I'm not the lanky, gay, weak kid from high school anymore. I can protect him and love him, but that's not who I am anymore. Like I'm strong, I'm athletic. I've taught yoga for 20 years for Christ's sake, like I mean, I so I've done that. I've I've actually, I think one of the coolest things that I've done is I've healed that relationship with those younger parts of my gay self that I didn't know I needed to heal with. But by proving to him or myself that I can do really something really hard. I can challenge myself and continue to grow and be successful at it.
Yeah.
Um Yeah, and I'm getting married this summer. I was already engaged when I came to start to work with you, but I'm getting married this summer. I already feel. I mean, I was already grateful for that, and I'm so excited. But I feel even better now because I just feel better about myself. Um, yeah, all sorts of great stuff.
Thank you for sharing that. That healing, right? The younger self, the lanky kid, we all have those images of us as kids and teenagers, and the fact that we're going, hey, Alex, we don't have to stay that way. Of course we can. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But we're going to make a choice, and we're choosing. We're making this conscious choice now. How do you feel in your skin today versus, say, 2 months ago?
I I feel more like myself in my own skin, more like
Yeah,
myself. I feel really proud of myself because you know to just take the leap, right? And to say, like, I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, doesn't work, but I'm going to try this because I really have a good feeling about it. To just do that gave me confidence in myself. I'm like, look what I'm doing. Look what I'm
yeah,
doing. Look what happened. And, like, one of the things I was really scared about was tracking progress, right? I was like, oh my God, am I going to get obsessive? Am I going to get crazy about it? Like, I have my episodes. We talked about it. I come out of it. It's just part of my wiring. But as I track it and see it, I'm like, oh my God, look what you did. I did this. You've helped me through it, but like Jared, I promise you, Jared doesn't come do your workouts for you or like, fix your meals. You've got to like, you get really proud of like the progress you're making for yourself. And then that compounds and you want to do more and you want to do more. Yeah.
yeah, incredible, incredible. And these successes or that feeling, now you're feeling this way. How is that impacting, say, the direction? Obviously, we're getting married, we got engaged, we're getting married, super exciting. Career side of things, other areas of your life, how is that impacting the vision now? Like, hey, we've cracked the code on this. What are we excited for? How's this impacting things?
Well, especially with career. I mean, I'm having ideas in my career now that I've never had before about
Mhm.
expansion and growth and what I want to do and how I want to work with people because it's all interrelated. It's really one relationship, the relationship with yourself, and then it branches out into every area of your life. But if you start working, if I'm lifting dumbbells that are 25 pounds heavier than I probably have ever picked up, maybe 20 pounds heavier than I've ever picked up, and I told myself I never would. Well,
Mhm.
why? What's to stop me from expanding in this way or that way with my business? What's to stop me in this way or that way for expanding financially the way I want to? What's to stop me? It's it, I know this, but
Yeah.
I had to work with someone to help me with it.
Yeah.
It's this that's
Mhm.
working with you, and it's just these old parts of you that are scared and want to stay safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as you work with them and they feel safe and you feel like you can go on and you've got them, there I really feel like there's nothing I couldn't do now. Now, I'm not saying I don't have tough days
Yeah.
and I have to like, text Jared and say like, whine and oh my God, but that's what he's there for. That's why you need somebody outside of you to help you with this, right? Because normally what I would do with that is just be like, well, screw it. I'll just go back. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Meh, whatever. But when you
Yeah.
have someone who can hold you accountable and talk you through it and even just be there to talk to you about it, who
Wow.
knows this inside and out, it makes all the difference.
Yeah. What are thank you for sharing, by the way. What are the if someone's thinking, Alex, okay, they're going, hey, I want to acknowledge this for you first, Alex, because you took the courage to say, hey, I'm worth this change transformation. You went for it, right? What would you say to someone now? They've got the same fears and doubts as you before, and they're saying, "Hey, am I worth this change? Is there something wrong with my genetics? Maybe in my 30s, 40s, 50s. It's too late now. I've tried." What would you say to them?
I know exactly what you're thinking, and that's exactly how I thought. I thought, I thought this is my genetics. I
Mm,
thought it's not that bad. It's fine. I was really falling for fine. And I thought, I don't need somebody. I think that's another thing, Jared, is gay men. We're so, so much of our stuff, our inner world, we had to live on our own and do on our own and figure out on our own. So I think there's a part of our story that's very strong. It's like, I can do this on my own. I
mm,
don't need anybody. Um, and that was a big story of mine. I always think
wow.
of it, Harvey Firestein's line in Torch Song Trilogy where he says to his mother, "I've taught myself to do everything so clean and pat myself on the back just so I don't have to ask anyone for anything."
Yeah.
And I always thought of that line. I think it applies to so many of us. And I will say, if you are having those thoughts and that's your belief system, you don't have to do it by yourself.
Mm,
And you really can't. That was humbling for me, is like, you can't do it by yourself. You have to have somebody. If those beliefs are really implanted,
mm-hmm,
you have to have somebody working with you to deconstruct them slowly.
mm,
And you have to have that auto reflection. And again, I think I said this in group last week in the group call. um Only gay men know other gay men on this visceral level.
yeah.
We only know each other on this deep level. And like, that's one of the things I loved about working with you on what I wanted to work with you, because I'm like, he'll get the stuff that's really there from those old spaces that it's hard to make anybody else understand.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. I love your vulnerability, Alex, right? Thank you for sharing that. And what does it have been like to surround yourself with all the other guys that we meet on a weekly basis to have that support?
Well, first of all, I was gonna fight. When we first started, I was gonna fight you on the group. I'm like, I don't want to do group calls. I don't do group calls.
Yeah.
Like, like, I was really skeptical of the
Just
group
one on
calls.
one
I
at
was
one
like,
time. Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, okay, okay, fine, I'll do one. And even like a couple weeks ago, I was like, oh, we're getting home late, whatever. And Michael, my future husband, was just like, go. That's how it starts. Go on those calls. They help. I see them, how much they really help you.
Wow.
So he was there as my accountability that night. The group call is amazing because we're all there supporting each other. We're all with different stories and different flavors of life experience, somewhat dealing with the same thing, or the same. If you say like, "Hey, I'm having this hard time with this belief," most everybody's had that
Mhm.
before. You really don't feel alone. Like, I thought, I'm the only one who can't figure this out. I'm the only one who's not felt good about their body. I'm the only one who can't give up. I'm the only one. And then we're all talking. We're like, we're all thinking the same thing, but none of us are talking to each other. And that's what I love about the call, is we're all sort of getting the support of that communal experience. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Last words of advice, Alex, for someone who's maybe sitting on the fence, they want to make a change, but they're a bit scared. Like, hey, I want to do this, but afraid.
It is scary. I will validate that. It's scary because an old version of yourself is going to fall away. And you know that. That's why it's scary. It's not scary so much for like the, will I be able to, or all of that is, will I be able to eat the right thing or do this or that, whatever. All of that is a symptomology of something deeper, which is your system is sensing that an old part of yourself is ready to leave the center stage, and a new you is coming in, and that does feel scary. But when you have support, and when you put down that hardened, if you're anything like me, you put down that hardened, I can do it myself. I can do it myself. I've been doing for 20 years and it hadn't really worked. Like, I'm like, when is it going to work myself? If you put down your pride, you could put a little bit of trust and faith.
Mhm.
I mean, the numbers don't lie. I could tell you my subjective experience, but even just the numbers and the measure, that's what I like about it too, Jared. It's like, there's measurable progress.
Mm,
You see it, but you've got to put the work in. It's not magic.
mhm.
Like I said, Jared doesn't come and do all this for you. He'll help you with it, but you have to trust that if you will put the time in and you follow what's going on, what Jared tells you to do, it works. And I still cannot believe. I really can't believe it where I am today.
I'm super proud of you, Alex. We're just getting
I know.
started. We're just getting started.
I know.
Yeah. Things are opening up and we're diving in deeper, right? There's a lot more stuff we're going to go into together. I do want to touch on one quick thing you just
Yeah.
said, Alice. This old identity falling away. It
Yeah.
is scary. It is terrifying to let go of an old self. Why is it so worth it, Alex, that you go for it anyway? To let go and maybe grieve that old self and step into that new version.
That old self that once kept you safe has probably become a stifling prison, and you haven't realized it has. You know, we form, especially as gay men, we form all sorts of different coping mechanisms to make it through life and to feel like we're safe. And
Mm,
you have to. I don't. There's nothing wrong with it, but we cling to what kept us safe.
mm,
We cling to that one thing or that one identity, that old thing that was traumatized. You know, I had some stuff that was traumatized, especially from bullying.
yeah.
That we feel like if I let go of any of this, that's going to happen again.
Mm,
And so all of that old stuff will come up and it'll be right in your face. But you have support. That's the thing is like when you do that alone, it's way too scary. It's doing the thing. I don't. Anyways, yeah. But the old identity, it feels like a kind of death,
yeah.
and you have to grieve it and say, and thank that part of you. I had to
Yeah.
thank the 17-year-old, 18, 19-year-old part of me for getting me through all that. The 30-year-old part of me for getting through, but that they don't have to work so hard anymore.
Yeah.
Like big adult me is in command now. I'm okay. I got it.
Right.
And yeah, you could just be. There's a version of yourself waiting to be born that you didn't even know was there, but some little part of you is gnawing at you, saying there must be more. That's how you know it. It's like it's just gnawing at you, and that's where I was at New Year's. It was just
Hmm.
gnawing at me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Now,
Now we're here.
yeah,
And now we're opening new doors,
yeah.
Alex. There's going to be more of Alex coming along. I can already know it with what's happening, this expansion. Uh, Thank you for sharing your story, Alex. I know a lot of guys will be inspired by this because it takes a lot of courage, firstly, to reach out, to do the work, share vulnerably with me privately, with a group of people, but to actually come on alive and actually just own all of this stuff, right? It takes courage. And I'm damn proud of you, and I can't wait for what's about to come.
Thank you, thank you. It's a joy. I can't wait to
So,
see where the rest of it takes us.
hey, we'll jump on the Zoom, and everyone,
Okay.
thank you for watching. See you soon.